So I guess everybody's wondering, NPK, why did you do it? Why? Why throw away the perfect blend of friendship? Why throw away 10 years of memories? I say, why not? Because for some reason, all of you people think that I owe you something. Like, oh, NPK and Paydirt together again, Skillz That Killz, finally the return, the big match at Fightline. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. You people wanted to see Skillz That Killz reunite at Fightline 2020, and I am going to give you the exact opposite. See, because there's a story that I think about a lot, about this man who ventures out across the desert to try to find himself. And after years of searching, years of wandering through the desolate land of nothingness, he stumbles upon a lake. Now, this isn't just any lake. This is a lake surrounded by luscious green trees, plentiful with fish and life, in the middle of a barren wasteland, surrounded by death and destruction and heat and exhaustion. There is a place where this man can finally find himself. A lot of you may think that, what does this story have to do with why you did it, NPK? Well, the reason that story connects to my actions is because NPK found himself in professional wrestling. Nothing. I too wandered, trying to find myself, trying to figure out what NPK was meant to do. And because of everyone here at Fight Night Wrestling, I found my calling. The reason God put NPK on this earth is to entertain in the middle of that ring. Because there is nowhere else on this earth that I feel more at home. And the people you have to thank for that is everybody here in Fight Night Wrestling, but especially my best friend, Paydirt. Peyton, the two of us wandered, my friend, but when push comes to shove, when we found each other, that's when it started clicking. And unfortunately, that's where this fairy tale ends. Paydirt, as you and I found ourselves, I wanted more. I strove every single day to want to be the single best at this every time I stepped in that ring. And what did you do? You had a decision to make, Paydirt, and you left. And from then on, every time I had my moment, it was shadowed by the return of Paydirt and another title win under his belt. Every single fucking time I took 3 steps forward, here you came right next to me, swooping in, stealing the spotlight and leaving. Yet again. For the guy that spent 10 years putting this company on his back, to see that, Paydirt, makes me absolutely sick. And Paydirt, we battled. We battled. You could say Paydirt versus NPK is the single greatest rivalry that will ever be seen in Fight Night Wrestling. Fightline, main events, pay-per-view, main events, year after year, you and I going at each other's throats, and then last year, we finished. We finished. I was shadowed with thoughts of trying to tear this company down. That the championship was NPK. That I deserved that championship. And lo and behold, when I go to have my moment, who shows up? Paydirt, when you and I stepped in the ring last year at Fightline, it was magic. No one will forget that match. No one's gonna forget that show. And no one's gonna forget the end of that show. When I begged you, on my knees, I begged you to stop, and you didn't. You picked me up, you F5'd me in the middle of that ring, and you embarrassed me in front of everyone. Paydirt, the moment my back hit that mat, 1, 2, 3, it was over. It was over. And we rah-rahed and we celebrated and we hugged it out and we walked up that ramp and you stood there and I embraced you, Paydirt, because I thought, you know what? If you can't beat him, join him. And I thought, you know, maybe that's it. Maybe that is NPK. Maybe that's where it's over for me. And I thought about it. I did. I thought about it very hard and I figured, you know what? What a way to go out. Main event of Fightline, on my back, staring at the lights, losing to my best friend. What a way to go out. And then I started thinking. I started thinking that maybe that wasn't the way I wanted to go out. Maybe that wasn't the way that NPK wanted to be remembered. Maybe that wasn't the end for NPK and Paydirt. Paydirt, for a year, you and the thought of losing to you has been a cancer inside of me. A parasite spreading itself through my heart, through my emotions, tearing my life apart. Every day I woke up, I was thinking about losing to you. And it ate me up inside. And it ruined my life. It ruined relationships. Paydirt, and one day, just like that, I came to the realization in my darkest moment that it didn't have to be this way. That it didn't have to end this way. So instead of the parasite spreading itself inside of me and tearing myself apart, I figured, why not do it to someone else? And from that point forward, I had a plan. I knew that every time I would think about you, I would train myself physically, I would train myself mentally, and I knew the moment that I had the chance to bury you where you stood, I would take it. So Paydirt, no, I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about anybody else. All I care about is burning you to the ground. This company was changed by NPK. But Paydirt, NPK's legacy will not be finished. There is one more moment left in this story. NPK and Paydirt deserve one more moment. So I can finally prove to everyone, to prove to myself, to take you, to break you, to bury you, to embarrass you, to finish you forever. To write the last chapter in this story and to close the book on NPK and Paydirt. Paydirt, if you have the guts to step into the ring with NPK one more time, the challenge is up to you. Come Fightline 2020, you'll know where I be. You'll know where I'll be. I'll be waiting for you. Up to you, Paydirt. And remember this, it's not the swift that win the war. It's not the strong that win the war. It's the ones who can endure the battle that win the war.